everyone and welcome to 3 Live. My name's Ali. I hope you guys are all doing well. We are joined by a really extra special guest today for this stream. We're going to be speaking to an amazing Samaritans volunteer, Rob, and he's going to be explaining his listening trait, and it's all to do with our Better Phone Friend campaign. If you aren't familiar with our Better Phone Friend campaign with Samaritans, then here's a little video to catch you up.
Listening. We all know it's important, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Blocking out distractions, fighting the urge to fill the silence, focusing on one thing, my voice. Listening to someone else is one of the most powerful things you can do for them. To learn how to become a better phone friend, visit 3.co.uk/betterphonefriend.
So we are proud partners of Samaritans, and we got the chance to speak to an amazing volunteer, Bavisha, in our previous video. If you want to check that out, it is available on our YouTube channel. Bavisha tells us all about what it's like to be a Samaritans volunteer and what you maybe would want to call Samaritans about, how you can get help from Samaritans, and her experiences as being a volunteer. Now we are going to be joined by Rob in just a second, who is going to talk a little bit more about his listening traits and his experience with being a volunteer, and also with being a caller for Samaritans as well. But if you have not seen this video, you're going to absolutely love it. So we spoke to Tom Fletcher and Dougie Pointer from McFly, one of my favourite bands. I absolutely love that they are part of this campaign, and they spoke all about how they have become a better phone friend to each other during lockdown, and how they have kept in touch and checked in on each other's mental health.
Hi everyone. All good?
3 has partnered with Samaritans to launch Be a Better Phone Friend, which is a campaign to help you be a better listener. And listening is one of the most important things we can do for someone, especially after the last year that we've had.
Yeah, me and Dougie have definitely been through quite a roller coaster ride in understanding our relationship and how to communicate with each other, and when we need to stop talking and listen to the other person.
That's getting past the surface level of, hi, how are you? Bit of the conversation is quite hard.
Actually, sorry, just give Doug a call.
Yeah, of course you can. And sorry, it's Tom.
That's fine, of course.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
How have you been?
Yeah, good. This lockdown, eh?
This is where, the last year has, for me and you, have been very different. I think it's the interesting thing, because we've been going through the same thing, but because our lives are very different, whilst being at home and having to be a dad is, it's been challenging.
I can relate. You got 3 kids. I got 2 cats, man. You had, it sounds like you had too much to do, and I didn't really have anything to do. And I like what you're saying about our work and everything being an escape. You had it to escape from too much, and I had it as my thing to do and focus on.
I hear you, Doug. I feel you, man.
Anyway, mate, it's been good talking to you.
Yeah, you too, mate. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.
All right, mate.
Speak to you in a bit.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
How was Dougie? He was good. He was, behind all the jokes, he's a good listener. Sorry, anyway, where were we?
On loads of occasions, Tom has been an exceptional listener for me. Yeah, he's great. He's really, really good at it.
Dougie has had plenty of moments of being an amazing listener, particularly over the last, over the last 5 years. Just, we've all kind of grown up and we're in a new place in our lives, and he's really good at actually making you kind of stop and actually asking how you feel.
So I have absolutely loved working on this campaign, and one of my favourite parts is getting to speak to the amazing volunteers from Samaritans and talk about the fantastic work that they do. So I am joined by Rob, who is going to tell us a little bit more about what it's like to be a Samaritans volunteer. So hi Rob.
Hello, hi, hello.
So I am just going to have a wee chat to you about kind of like your experiences and what you think of our Better Phone Friend campaign. So first of all, what inspired you to be a Samaritans volunteer, or like what kind of was the turning point that you decided to do it?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I think there are a few answers to it really. And the main reason I suppose I became a volunteer was that several years ago, before I started volunteering, I'd used the service myself. So I rang up when I was going through some things, and I just sort of found the experiences being listened to, yeah, so like monumentally helpful and powerful, and it kind of started a really useful journey, I suppose, for me. So in a sense, and some years down the line after that experience, it kind of always stayed with me, and it was something that I thought, well, it'd be great to be able to kind of give back in some way to the organisation. And then also had been kind of looking for various things to maybe do volunteer-wise. I've kind of always been interested in something and tried a few things, but never kind of found the thing that I felt was, sitting right with me. So I think the Samaritans just sort of seemed to align with my own values, I suppose, as well at the time, yeah.
That's so lovely that obviously it's off your own kind of experiences, and that you wanted to kind of be that person for someone else as well, which I think is really, really nice. So in our like previous chats with another Samaritans volunteer, she kind of explained what the service is, and we've spoken a little bit about the campaign and what it meant to her. But what I would really like to know is kind of what do you think of the campaign? Like, what does that mean to you, and why do you think it's important? So our Better Phone Friend campaign is all about listening types and how to be a better listener. And I know obviously as a Samaritans volunteer, it's incredibly important to be a good listener. So what do you think about us kind of sharing that and encouraging everyone else to become a better listener?
Yeah, well, I think as you say, we're trained as Samaritans volunteers to be listeners, and I think that the key thing is in that being trainable. And actually, I think listening is a skill that we are all capable of, and it's an immensely special thing. And I think without speaking too generically, in the world we live in, I think it's really easy to talk quite a lot for traffic to be pretty one way, really. And so that ability to be able to listen to anyone, to talk through things that are maybe on their mind without any judgment, and being able to hold the space for that person is a really lovely thing, and something that everyone can do. It's an immensely accessible process, I think, listening to others. And I think what the campaign seems to do so brilliant is make it really clear and make it accessible, and for it to kind of speak a language, I suppose, that we can hopefully all understand, and raise our awareness to what we might do differently as listeners, or all those things that we're already doing really well. When I saw the listener type, I sort of identified quite a few of those before I became a volunteer, so it was interesting to reflect on those. And it's always a thing that I think in progress, it's something that we can all continue to grow and develop in, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're saying a little bit about, obviously you identified as some of the listener types maybe before you had your training, and you kind of understood a little bit more about it. So I would identify as an attention splitter. So I can find like myself kind of going to or from, and being so busy and kind of focusing on other tasks instead of just sitting and listening. And that's kind of the campaign's definitely made me more aware of it and helped me to become a better listener. But what traits would you say you identified with, obviously before your training, and kind of how did you resolve that?
Yeah, I definitely think I was a bit of a warrior before I trained to be a volunteer, and that kind of came as maybe some assumptions I'd make about others. Maybe you'd see someone, like a friend or a family member, and you might sense something's going on, and instantly I'd probably try and guess that by asking, I don't know, closed questions like, are you all right? Are you, what is it? Are you tired, or are you are you stressed at work? Like, what's kind of putting like my worry for them on them, rather than, I suppose, just enabling them non-judgmentally to talk that through. And actually half the time people were completely fine. Maybe it was just a moment where something was on their mind. But I think, not making assumptions was something that I certainly learned and developed, I guess, and through training. And I think that worrying comes from hopefully a good place of trying to check in with people, but sometimes it's kind of people aren't always ready to talk about those things, I think. So how you create the space that is warm and inviting, but not, I suppose, pushing your own agenda onto that person who's talking things through is something I've thought about a lot.
Yeah, I think when you say, obviously, like, I would say I'm definitely mainly an attention splitter, but I do also identify with the worrier trait as well. I'm a bit of a worrier in everyday life, never mind just like when it comes to listening. But it definitely, as you said, it comes from a place of love, and it's like kind of reassurance for yourself as well. Like I kind of it comes across like that to me when I kind of realised that I was doing it as well. So it's really great that you have kind of focused on what maybe it is you need to work on with your listening skills, and now obviously as a volunteer you are like a safe space for people to be heard, and you can listen to them and kind of help them through their problems or struggles, or just like whatever it is that obviously they would be getting in touch with a Samaritan for. So for back to kind of our Better Phone Friend campaign, obviously I think the campaign's incredibly important, and it's definitely made me a lot more aware of what my maybe listening, I don't like to say faults, because I definitely would say I was a good listener before, but definitely becoming a better listener, it's made me more aware of kind of where I go wrong, or maybe where I'm not as helpful. But why do you think the campaign, like Better Phone Friend or any other kind of campaign, is so important for people?
Yeah, again, I think it's another really brilliant question, and I think it's a really important campaign for a few reasons, really. I guess first and foremost, the Samaritans every day respond to around 10,000 calls for help, and it's really clear, I think, with what's going on in the world at the moment, the kind of uncertainty that's been caused by the last year, and how that uncertainty for many people can continue. I think it's really important that we're able to be there and listen to each other and support one another. And I think the Samaritans research shows that something about 1 in 5 of those calls, I think, are related to the pandemic and to coronavirus. And I don't think we need to be trained counsellors necessarily, or therapists to be able to kind of understand and empathise with each other about a whole range of different things, not just the pandemic. And I think in doing so, in being able to sit alongside someone when we feel well enough to do that and to support someone else, I think it can really help reduce a level of distress in others. Samaritans often talk about like thoughts in our head that are kind of jumbling around, almost like if you imagine a tumble dryer and all the clothes represent your thoughts, but actually by talking it through, you don't get rid of those clothes, those thoughts, but you can kind of just stop the machine from spinning around and just fold them up really neatly. So they're still there, and hopefully you can sort of see different insights through that, what can sometimes feel like a mess for a lot of us, I think, when we have things on our mind.
Yeah, I think what you're saying obviously about, I mean, the current situation, I mean, it's very uncertain, and I know that's where my mental health has definitely struggled through all of this. So I thought it was so interesting to hear that 1/3 of people actually find that their mental health is kind of gotten worse, or they've kind of found more mental health conditions maybe they never even had before through all this. So I think it's incredibly important, even the timing of when this campaign is obviously being launched, that it's sometimes being a better phone friend is kind of the only way that you can communicate with someone right now. I know there's a lot of people that I've not seen in a long time, and like my close friends and family, the only way I'm able to speak to them or kind of find out how they're feeling is through like a phone call or a video call. So I definitely, that's where it kind of resonates with me as well. But thank you so much for sharing your experiences and kind of opening up and telling us what had inspired you to become a volunteer. And I think it's been especially helpful for me, and I'm sure so many other people, to know that the people that are on the other end of the phone have maybe been through similar experiences to them, or they can identify with these different listener traits like before. As you said, obviously you've done your training and things now, but yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I've definitely found it so helpful, and I know loads of people watching will. Is there anything else that you would like to kind of add in about the campaign, or that you'd like to share?
I don't think so, no, other than just to say thanks so much. It's been a real pleasure talking. And yeah, thanks for having me.
So thank you so much for joining in and watching our broadcast all about our Better Phone Friend campaign with Samaritans. If you'd like to find out more about the campaign, you can go to 3.co.uk/Better Phone Friend. If you would like to watch our previous video with another amazing volunteer, Bavisha, you can head over to our YouTube channel and check it out there. And if you would like to get in touch with Samaritans, there are so many ways to do so. You can call 116 123 at any time of the day, 24/7. You can send an email to joe@samaritans.org, or you can also post a letter. The links are available on the Samaritans homepage. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
We all worry about others from time to time. Sometimes our loved ones are experiencing things we might not know about or understand. When it comes to listening to them, how we see things can get in the way. Non-judgmental listening is the best way to help a friend and make them feel safe. Let them know you're there to listen and you're open-minded about what they're telling you. For more, visit 3.co.uk/betterphonefriend.